You know, something I absolutely love about electric bikes, and more generally speaking, micro electric mobility, is just how fast the entire space is evolving. I think in a decade's time, the landscape is going to look dramatically different. And humans are known to be terrible at predicting the future, but that's never stopped us before. So I'll go ahead and give you guys my quick insight on the major change I foresee happening in 10 years' time. By the way, this is the uphill gravel trail I always test out my new bikes on, but I've never tested this bike on this trail before. So let's see how much we just rip it by. Oh my gosh, this is terrifying. Going about touching 30 almost. Ooh, they did recently resurface this, so it's actually a lot easier than it used to be. But man, this bike it's like nothing. No pedaling because of course I have peg mode activated. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I have pegals. Now they're pegs. Now they're pedals. But getting back on topic, there's a few trends I foresee happening in the PEV space. First off, I think regular electric bikes are still going to be probably the most popular thing, but they're going to be in 10 years' time significantly more advanced and capable than even what I'm riding here. This thing's going to seem like a dinosaur in a lot less than 10 years' time. And that's a good thing. It's the pace of innovation. In particular, I think and I really hope that the battery technology in particular is what advances. So hopefully in 10 years' time, your average e-bike has a battery that's an order of magnitude more energy dense and larger capacity than the lithium battery technology we have today. Because if you could buy a regular e-bike off the shelf for $1,400 and get like actually 100 miles of range out of it, that would completely change the equation, and way more people would adopt electric bikes with that kind of technology. And it might seem optimistic, but that's my prediction. I think technology is going to advance way faster than most people think. Because historically, that's been the case with technology, by the way. I just got done watching a video by Dr. Tyson, Neil deGrasse Tyson, where he did a breakdown of how fast technology really evolved in 30-year chunks. So from like 1930 to 1960, the world was completely different. 1960 to 1990, again, radically different world. So in 10 years' time, having cheaper, more energy-dense batteries, I think that's completely realistic. But aside from regular e-bikes, we're going to see a lot more of variety in the space. Already today, I'm beginning to see more and more like scooters, and especially one-wheels. I see a lot of one-wheels around my town. I mean, buying a one-wheel today is not that big of an investment. It's fun and surprisingly capable as a little PEV. So in the future, there's going to be a wider variety of these little PEVs getting around town. But I also believe there's going to be larger vehicles basically on the other end of the spectrum as well. If you didn't see my last video, I covered a few of these. My favorite was the Vimo. This is a three-wheel e-bike, so it's much easier to ride for the average person. You can put cargo in it pretty easily. The stability, right, it's a lot better than a two-wheeled vehicle. And you have that canopy, which gives you weather protection. That's a big deal. Where I live in Jersey, every couple of days it seems to rain. And I can ride this bike in the rain. I've done it before, but it's not pleasant. And if we want mass adoption and to see more people getting around on PEVs instead of huge cars, you're gonna need to have some kind of weatherproofing. So yeah, in 10 years' time, on both ends of the spectrum, there's gonna be a lot more variety to choose from, aside from just regular bikes, which will still probably be the majority of the market, and hopefully way better with future technology. Now, I did just come across a brand new, very innovative bike that I want to discuss more in depth in this video. Because again, it's pushing the bounds. I don't know how successful it's going to be, but I appreciate the innovation. And when companies try something new, I like to talk about it and show it off to you guys. This bike is called the Chimera, and it's an electric BMX bike, like a full-blown BMX bike. But the thing that I found very interesting about their approach here is they didn't just take a BMX bike off of the shelf at Walmart and put a 750 watt hub motor in it. They designed and engineered this crazy mid-drive transmission powertrain. I mean, you can see how funky it looks, and it delivers a crazy amount of power, 3.8 kilowatts. Now, personally, I'm not a BMX rider, so I can't speak to that aspect of the bike. However, they're designed to be more durable than regular bikes because you're supposed to do tricks, do jumps with them, and they're also physically compact. A BMX bike is kind of like a miniature road bike that's just more tough. And if you guys follow the channel, you should know that I'm actually a big fan of small, compact bikes. It makes using them to get around town, a last mile vehicle on and off the train, way more practical. The only downside with really small, compact bikes is they tend to also have very weak motors. They're not very powerful. But this electric BMX bike with its crazy mid-drive powertrain might be the solution here if you want a small, compact, durable, yet very peppy and powerful small bike. I think this thing could really sell in city living. It comes in at just 38.5 pounds, so you could easily pick it up and bring it up and down stairs, in and out of the subway. See, this is called the right hook. It's the #1 way people on bikes get hit by cars. They speed up in front of you and then right hook right into you. But city living with e-bikes is something that makes a ton of sense. It's something that I kind of want to do in the future, potentially move to a city if I can afford it. And I was thinking that this bike, as amazing as it is and how it fits my needs out in the suburbs, in a city environment, I would probably have to sell this bike. This thing weighs over 100 pounds. It's massive, it's expensive. I can't really bring it up a flight of stairs. I have to leave it locked up outside, and that means that it will be stolen. So it's just not great for that kind of a lifestyle. So I would definitely need something smaller, more portable, but I don't really want to give up power. And this electric BMX bike might be that solution. Although I don't think the bike is ready quite yet for mass adoption. The price tag is kind of ridiculous. It's like $4,500. So it's very expensive. The battery capacity, so it comes in at 52 volts, 8.4 amp hours. That's a total watt hour capacity of like 500. So yeah, it's expensive. It has a small battery. There's also no suspension, being that it's a BMX bike. So it's certainly not good for long range cruises, something that this bike really excels at. But again, I think in a city environment where you just want a lot of pep, you're not really traveling that far, and you have to navigate a sea of concrete, I would certainly want that electric BMX bike over what I'm on right now. This is kind of a pain. I brought this to the city many times, and every time it's really an unpleasant experience. I mean, in particular, sometimes I get flashbacks to when I had to bring this thing down a set of escalators that was out of service, and the passageway was so steep, narrow, and this bike is so heavy. I almost lost the bike a couple of times. So yeah, small bikes definitely have their advantages. So I wanted to show this cool, innovative take on small bikes to you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed still watching, I always appreciate a like, subscribing. It helps out the channel immensely. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.